Hello, my name is Prime, and welcome back to ATS Showcases, and also welcome to Chicago. Well, I guess underneath Chicago, that is. Today we're here once again in the Illinois DLC, where I must say, big thank you to SES Software for giving me early access to the Illinois DLC that releases for everyone on May 14th, 2026. And in today's delivery, we're going to head south on the 57 down along the eastern edge of Illinois, ending up in Champaign. But more specifically, where we start here in Chicago, we're actually at the underground storage facility. But instead of just getting on the highways quickly, we're going to take a detour downtown and explore Chicago for what it has to offer before continuing on our way. We're hauling a bunch of empty pallets today, so we're going to call it I'm doing a return delivery from this underground storage facility. So our double trailer is packed full of pallets, and our Freightliner Cascadia today is going to get us from point A to point B. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get our Cascadia started up and get on the road. Now, as this is an early access build of the Illinois DLC, there are no mods in this video, no third-party modifications. Everything you hear and see is American Truck Simulator through and through, but do keep in mind, it is an early access build of the DLC, so if you happen to see something that isn't quite right, don't worry, that will be fixed upon release. All right, let's get rolling, but actually, to start off here, I see the GPS is trying to get me to go around. Okay, so full transparency, I pulled in here to pick up, and I had to drive in point basically the opposite direction to park. Once it loaded, it flipped me around, and now I'm pointed back the way I came in. So even though the GPS wants me to go the other way, I'm pointed with a double trailer the opposite direction, and I don't think I have enough room to turn around here. So we're just gonna head back this way and see at the intersection back here, because there is an intersection underneath this whole place, and I believe there's also a Walmart and so on underneath here in this underground storage, which is kind of interesting. We're going to see, it's a one-way the other way, but why would they turn the truck around at a point where then you can't go another way? So what we are going to do is we're going to just try and make a very, very janky left here, which is probably the safest thing for me to do instead of cutting across the other lanes. We're going to head down here. We're not going to go down to the Walmart, and we'll just swing around this facility. I'm not sure why, to be honest with you, it decided to put me the other direction, but we're going to go with it. So hopefully everyone is doing well. I certainly am. Great to be back here in Illinois, of course, and thank you to everyone who has been showing the love and support on the first look video for the Illinois DLC. I know many of you are so excited, and it was so funny to see the reactions of people, especially after putting out the Back to the USA video, and I mentioned it a little bit in the last episode, but so funny to see so many people saying, why don't you have early access yet, and all this different things. I truly appreciate your support. You all are absolutely fantastic, and I can't thank you enough. And do I have to go up through the middle here? Yes, right? We're going up this lane? Yeah, we are. Okay, fantastic. So fantastic to see your support, and I truly appreciate every single one of you for the support. Again, can't thank you enough for that one, and all your comments and support. It's what makes me able to do these early access videos, and I truly appreciate it. But we are here once again, and I wanted to start off here in Chicago because obviously a very, very important city here in Illinois, and one that many people have been waiting a long time to see come into American Truck Simulator, and it is finally here. And so I want to be able to get out of the underground to be able to actually see the rest of the particular rest of the well, area, that is. And what actually happens here with all these lights? Basically, oh, that's how you turn left, but not through the straight. Okay, that's odd, my friends. I'm no expert in road design, but I feel like putting the left turn potential lane on the far right side after a divider and have to have this two-stage kind of intersection thing to get everyone aligned and back out is not the most reasonable way to do this. Because, for example, they're trying to either go straight or turn left there for the services on this side. I guess that's maybe the reason why. Maybe it's just actually access point. But still, it's very odd, and I feel like it's just natural then to have this terrible traffic congestion under here, especially if the lights don't happen to be synced, which I'm not sure if those straight through ones are. Okay, no, they are synced there, but are we going to be able to get through in time, or is this truck ahead of me going to go too slow? I'm not quite sure. What is that noise? Rail line maybe? I'm not sure. Anyways, we're rolling. That's fantastic. And I've actually got to get over to the left here. Make sure we head up into Chicago itself, because we want to head downtown. We are going to take a little bit of a... Oh, there's the bright light. We're going to take a little bit of a detour here today because, well, welcome to Chicago, everyone. Amazing skyline. Look at this. Unreal. Unreal indeed. Make a left up here. So fantastic to finally have Chicago in American Truck Simulator. And, of course, this serves as a major point, of course, in the logistics network as well. And that's something that Illinois does on multiple fronts. I would argue that Illinois has made Iowa a little bit more important, or at least more relevant, for the sake of the ATS map. That sounds bad for me to say if it's out of context, but like, I felt like Iowa was before a little bit too much of a, well, let's say a dead end, shall we say, in the network, because of where the main highway infrastructure was leading to. Obviously, a lot of it leading here into Illinois. And it felt like it was almost in this weird little pocket where you could go up into it, but the rest of some certain areas of it really didn't serve a whole lot of main purpose in the ATS map, just because of, well, again, the infrastructure and general layout and geopositioning of the state. But I feel like now with Illinois, that comment completely gets disregarded, because now the whole area has so much more purpose as we go underneath this building here. Very interesting. Very interesting indeed. Now, admittedly, I have seen this. If you look on the map, there is a photo icon. I may or may not have taken a thumbnail on the bridge back there, but but the rest of this is first look. Yeah, well, even though we're still underneath in a tunnel at this point. We can't escape the tunnel. It's just endless. Lots of noise going on, though, in the backgrounds, which I think is something 1.59 definitely improved on. Besides AI traffic noise, just some of the other soundscapes, and obviously there's a lot of work that's been done here in the Illinois DLC to make sure that the ambient sounds are correct, but it's just a wonderful, wonderful region to be in. There's a subway going across up ahead. We're gonna actually try and get over here. So we're in the correct lane for turning once we get down to the end of this avenue. And this is the type of thing that these DLCs really need. Large, sprawling metropolitan areas, what did I just hit? I don't know what I think I just hit the engine braking thing. Okay, well, we're gonna see what happens. Okay, that's off. Good. Perfect. Rotary button on my wheel got hit accidentally because I smacked it. These sprawling areas are really what's needed here in ATS, and I think many of you would agree. Rural landscape and navigation opportunities, shall we say, or just road networks, are very, very important. Don't get me wrong, and I generally actually prefer, in full transparency, the more scenic routes and so on that are not so city-bound. But something that for many, many years we were starved of were large, sprawling metropolitan areas that had a lot of opportunity in it. Now, admittedly, Chicago has a lot more road infrastructure than what we can drive on here in ATS. Of course, that's the case. But I do appreciate that the scale of Chicago, although not to what it is in real life, still has a lot of key elements and major, more metropolitan feel to it, right? A little bit more of a city feel where is more traffic potentially, or at least larger road networks, significant landmark and infrastructure, and everything isn't just in one spot. Something that happened a lot in early stages of ATS and map development was that you'd have a city And then all of the industry and commercial pickup points for the sake of ATS were located in one literal spot. As I overshoot my head movement there. They were all in one zone. And actually, I'm going to stay in this left lane here as I do a little bit of a snaky. We're going to stay here because I have to make a left anyway, so I don't feel like crossing over a bunch of lanes. It felt like everything was just in one kind of, shall we say, industrial/commercial zone with very little spread. Now, we get a little bit more of a variety. Yes, there are still the industrial zones. That makes sense because that's what exists in real life. There are industrial zones in most places, and then residential, commercial, they keep it fairly separate. But there are often across the city multiple of these industrial or commercial zones, not just one massive one. So it's great to see that we finally have a little bit of diversity there, where we have some options to, well, finally get to, say, the east side, the west side, south, and north, and actually explore it and have more infrastructure built up, even if it's just scenic, around the area, so then it's not so, well, centralized, which is very, very nice and refreshing. And so far, as we go through downtown Chicago here, that skyline is just insane. It's truly insane, and it looks so good. So good indeed, and I'm so happy to have it here in ATS. And we're gonna head south, as I talked about in the intro, head down to Champaign. Again, mainly a highway drive, but we are hauling empty pallets in a Freightliner Cascadia, pretty much the king of highway trucks, so it does make a little bit of sense. Now, does it? Now, next episode, though, the look and feel will be just a little bit different in terms of where we're at, but I'll leave that one for that video to come, so keep an eye out for that one to come out. Well, probably, if you're watching this on release day, tomorrow. Plan on doing daily episodes here for the time being. I've been able to move things around to try and prioritize this because, well, brand new DLC and Illinois, I'm too excited to kind of put it aside. So we're pushing through and we're making it happen. Let's just call it that. So we got to go over here, make a right, and we're gonna go down along the water, which is fantastic. Okay, he's turned in, so I guess we can go. Here we go. Freightliner Cascadia shifting some gears here. And which lane should I pick to stay in today? Well, let's maybe go to the right lane because we are technically going to be exiting here because we need to get on the 55 South, St. Louis. Technically. Technically head to St. Louis for now. And then we're going to be changing over to, I think it was, which interstate was it I said in the intro? I can't even remember now. I don't know the region that well, folks. I'm mainly learning it here through ATS, which is bad of me to say, but the case. I guess we'll find out here in just a few moments time when we get onto the main. Oh, was it 94? No, well, I guess the 94 merges into something else, doesn't it? I think that's the case. So we actually have to get over here. Amazing. Yeah, I can't quite remember exactly. There's a Wisconsin sign back there, technically, because we are close to Wisconsin, which is going to be very cool whenever that comes in. Wisconsin and Indiana. So many new opportunities for the game. It's truly incredible. Truly incredible. 29 to beat. That's what we're taking the exit for. Get around here. And then we'll start talking a little... We're going to chalk up some lines here. We're going to start talking about what else is going on here with Illinois and ATS. So, Illinois DLC obviously releasing in just a couple days if you're watching this now, which is absolutely fantastic. We are so incredibly close to release, and it is very, very exciting. But as of my first impressions in the last video, we're very, very high of this DLC, and off initial glance, I would have told you, yes, pick up this DLC. That messaging remains to this day. here was episode 2 as we've checked out now the urban center of Chicago, and as we're making our way out, there's a lot. Okay, it's very high detail, and there's a lot of opportunity across this state. Just simple as that. Now, I will say, remember the comments I was making earlier about giving Iowa some, some feel basically, or some purpose? I would almost argue with you that Illinois is now, some sections of Illinois are now in this same space. Because many of these Midwest states are, just for the sake of larger logistics, are a lot more, well, pass-through type of states. As bad as it may sound, it's what it is. There are generally more of the main arteries going through, and you stop in, and of course they have some really key infrastructure and logistics and so on, but there's often another destination is what I'm trying to get at. Now Illinois is a little bit better stance, I would say, mainly because of Chicago and a couple other areas that will even Moline with some of the different industry around there. Oh, we got to pull into the way station. All right. We'll do that game. It's a little bit better position, but still, I feel like there is an element of, depending on what DLCs you may have and what deliveries you want to take, you could still feel like Illinois kind of gets lost in the mud a little bit, besides just the brand new, just because it's a brand new DLC. That's maybe a bit of a harsh take. I am still very excited to have it, and I think on top of what Iowa was even, I feel like there's still enough here in Illinois to make it worthwhile, a pretty significant... my vehicle is not in a perfect technical state. It's not? I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. I am Prime Simulation. Oh, let's see. What's the problem here? If it's saying my truck and trailer is not in a perfect technical state with 1% damage on the trailer somehow, probably from tire wear, because I use these across multiple episodes. I don't know, friends. I feel like that's a little bit steep. Okay, that car's going to wait for me. Thank you very much, then. I feel like that's maybe a little bit of a steep message to say, but okay, whatever. But anyways, back to my opinion on the DLC itself. I think it's visually and in terms of expanding the network, fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. There is lots of opportunity within it. I think it is definitely a buy. If there's no performance issues as of recording this video, I haven't had anything happen. I think it's great. I think it's great to have. So many people are very excited for it, and for great reasons. It is a state that has, as I said, a lot of opportunity within it, some unique industries as well, some wonderful cities. I think, especially if you're local to the region or you really like it, perfect, get it. If not, if you're kind of on the fence about it, maybe just stay on the fence about it until it comes on sale. Because if it's going to be just one of your more fringe, shall we say, DLCs that you drive in, and realistically you want to drive more, say, in the southern end of the map or more towards the west, maybe it's not something you pick up right away. And that's the side that I'm trying to get at. Like, states like Texas, most of the West Coast ones, because obviously you can't go any farther, but even a lot of now the central ones, for the sake of ATS and playing the game, a lot of deliveries, you generally want to travel across multiple states. Now, that depends on the type of person, but most of us would like to do some, longer deliveries or go from state to state, kind of hop around. Most of us won't just stay in one general area for an entire time, unless if you don't have a bunch of DLCs to go around. That's just part of the nature of it. So that's where I'm saying it's basically depending on what your needs are. If you're a person that wants to explore a brand new section of the map and tired of playing some of the ones that you've already played, fantastic. Pick it up. You're not going to be disappointed. At least I highly doubt you will be, because at least the quality is on par, if not higher, than any of the DLCs we've had in the past year for ATS, or at least especially the ones more recent. Fantastic. Some really cool stuff here. I wouldn't argue with it. Now, again, if you're a person that doesn't really travel to the Eastern Edge much, or you don't have those DLCs, obviously you're going to want to get DLCs that lead up to Illinois before picking it up, because if not, then it is truly isolated and kind of pointless. So there's that. What I will say, though, about the DLC, because as always, I give my honest opinion, and I know there are reasons for this, but it doesn't mean that I cannot share it anyways. Why just 11 cities? I think it's a fair question to ask. There are, yes, the state itself is not a massive state compared to, say, Texas or whatever, but it still has more than 11 different places to go. Now, there are plenty of settlements, which, for those who don't know, settlements are literally just little towns on side roads that you can drive through in the context of American Truck Simulator, but you can't deliver anything to them. They may have like a gas station there and maybe a rest point, but that's about it. They are quite literally just scenic towns along the way, which is great because they never used to put them in, but still, they still just basically sit there and you can't do anything with them. So meanwhile, we've got then a handful of other cities that we can, and we ask, why can't more be put in? Or then, if they're going to only run 11, why can't you put more road network in, say, in Chicago? So you have multiple zones even further than what they have there for a different industry and so on. Or just put more road network in for the sake of logistics options. I would say this general trend here in ATS where we have, limited amounts of cities or towns is a little bit disappointing. Because it's just one of those things that even if the settlements have, say, a gas station, give it an opportunity to be able to be delivered to at least. Or most of them have a convenience store. Let a delivery still happen. It doesn't matter if you have a 50-foot trailer on the back. Just for the sake of you're delivering then to multiple deliveries, or you have a very partial load if you want to just give it to that kind of scenario. Let it be that. I feel like the settlements could be utilized a lot better. Just for the sake of having extra industry. And again, this is me being fairly greedy as an ATS player because I just want more options. But at the same time, I feel like it's fair when you're spending, I don't know, in the teens of dollars for a state map expansion that is, has a lot of work and detail in it, but doesn't have a ton of extra cities. That naturally limits the amount of different industry types that you can deliver to, and just different opportunities. Just because, well, simply there's not as much there. So as unfortunate as it may be that we only do have 11 or so cities in the Illinois DLC, at least so far the detail of them have been very, very good, and that definitely helps compensate for it. And again, there are multiple other industries in the DLC that I haven't been able to cover yet that we'll get to. But still, it's part of the complex equation of trying to decide if you want to pick up a DLC or not. Is this? It's just, is the DLC for how you play worth it? And that's something I can't answer, but at least I can say the quality is very good. It is running well. That is amazing. And I would say, without a doubt, pick it up. At least if you have the DLCs around it, pick it up. But if you are a person that doesn't have the DLCs or like to play in certain other areas of the map, you may want to just wait until it comes on sale, because it will. It may take some time, but it will. And then you'll be able to explore the same thing, but just at a slightly different cost, which could be beneficial for you if you are on a tighter income level. We all have different situations, and I want to keep that fairly clear and open that, you know what? Everyone's situation is different, and there is no one answer to this. Simple as that. But with all that rant about should you pick up the DLC or not, yes, I think you should. If it's financially reasonable for you to do so, I would recommend it. Again, very good. We are already here, which is absolutely crazy. It's a billboard from Missouri over there. We're already here, which is fantastic. Champaign discovered. There we go. And it was just a nice little highway drive. And it was good because we were able to take a look around Chicago, what it at least kind of offered a bit. At least with the skyline and so on, looks very, very good. And then they take another highway cruise. But we're going to change that up for next episode. Well, for those watching to the end here, take a little bit more of a different direction, shall we say, with the roads that we're on. And I think that's going to be refreshing and good. I think it's going to be much needed and more towards my end of style, shall we say, for the sake of preference. Gotta wait for this light because it is very long. Very long light rotation indeed. Oh, there we go. Finally. Took a little bit of time. And we'll pull in. At least we don't have to reverse this trailer, which is good. So I don't have that issue to contest with today. But I could still mess it up. Because again, I'm Prime Simulation. And that is just what I do. Now, I think I'm going to actually go around this way. As I nearly already mess it up. Because, as I before mentioned, I am Prime Simulation. We're going to try and swing in this way. If possible. Gonna open up for me. This is an out only, I guess. Well, would you look at that? I've already messed it up. Alright, well, I guess I should have just trusted my gut and went around the store. I mean, it was a valid point, just try to go in that side, but unless if there's a sign that I missed, that is highly unfortunate. Now, do they even have a gate on this side? They don't. So they literally just have a gate exit, but no entrance? What? What kind of delivery point is this? I don't even know, man. I don't even know. Meanwhile, I had to try and do this really sketchy looking reverse on the other side, which was a whole lot of fun. And didn't really go to plan. But let's see if can I even get this to go back nicely? Oh, the dollies. I don't like doubles at all. This reminds me, I probably should do the new driving academy thing for the double trailers, because this would actually probably help it. Because no matter, oh man, yeah, I don't like these. I don't like these doubles. They are not my friend. So what we are going to do is we're going to park up here and say to whoever put the parking spot that close to the corner back there for a double trailer, say you can move that up. Oh, I don't know, all the 20, 40 feet. And we're just going to park here. Thank you all so much for watching. What a great episode here in the Illinois DLC. It was nice to be exploring Chicago just that little bit from underground and then around what it did have to offer a little bit. There was the scenery. I thought it was going to be a little bit more, to be honest with you, but it was still fantastic either way. And coming down here to Champaign is always nice as well. And we're going to head to the west side of the state next time. That's my goal, at least, and explore some of the more country roads that happen to be over there, and go from there. So thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.